Hello, welcome back to the channel. So today I have a review for you, and it is the review for the first novella in the Skyward series, kind of, if you ignore Defending Elysium, the first novella in the Skyward series, Sunreach. So in Sunreach, we follow a character from Skyward and Starsight, FM, whose real name is Freya Martin. FM is her call sign, which also is FM is her initials, who is one of the pilots in Spencer's flight, and she's kind of from this kind of well-to-do background. So her parents are very well off, and she's friends with Jorgen. Growing up, I think she went to school with Jorgen, but she's kind of rebelled against that privilege that she has in society, and she's like very anti-authoritarian and very kind of anti-war, which is very interesting because obviously she's chosen to go to war. I think that the central conflict of her character in the first novel, where you see a lot of FM, is that she's kind of very much like anti-establishment, anti the current government and the way that their society is being governed, but she's also very much a part of that system from her upbringing, and she's a part of the war machine from her work as a pilot. So really, really interesting character. And I think that being the first character, apart from Spencer, who you spend any time in their head, made Sunreach really, really interesting for me. One thing that I did think about Sunreach is that there is much higher importance or much more time given in the story to the romantic subplot, which you could almost say is the main plot for how much screen time it feels like it gets. I don't know whether that's accurate, because I listened to this one purely on audiobook. I didn't even touch the Kindle version. I bought the audiobooks for all of the Skyward Flight because I figured that I was reading about, with Starsight, I think I said I read about 70% of that using the audiobook, listened to 70% of it, and loved that experience. And I feel like when it's a shorter book, a novella like Sunreach, which was about half the length of a full Skyward novel, maybe a third of the length, that was really well served by listening to it via audio. The only complaint that I had about this one is that the UK narrator, Sophie Aldred, who I absolutely love from book 1 and 2, did not record a version of Skyward Flight. So if you buy the UK version of Skyward Flight, you get the American narrator. Now, the American narrator, who's Susie something, she did really well. She was actually a lot better than I was expecting. She didn't do kind of different accents in the same way that Sophie Aldred does. But the interesting thing, I guess, is that because you don't spend any time with Spencer and Mbot and a couple of the guys from the kind of the major characters from Skyward and Starsight, you don't really spend much time with them. You don't really notice that she's not doing the voices because she's not playing those characters. So there's kind of no voice for that character to miss. The one character that I feel features quite heavily in Sunreach and also in Redawn, the next one, which I'm going to record a review for today at some point, hopefully in like 20 minutes after I finish recording this. I'm going to record a review for Redawn. Jorgen is the character that you spend a lot of time with in both of these novels. He's kind of like almost the secondary, kind of the leading supporting character in both books, in the way that he's kind of the leading supporting character in Skyward and Starsight. I guess you could say Mbot is sorry, I just got a text message. But Sunreach. So, what's Sunreach about? So, Sunreach is about the Freya Martin, FM, and kind of what she's up to between Starsight and Cytonic. Now, or at least kind of the first part of her time between Starsight and Cytonic. Hello, Cat. And that's going to be 3 videos in a row that Gus has been in, so I hope you all appreciate. Anyway, so Sunreach is basically the Skyward guys are contacted by Kuna, the politician from Starsight, and they are told that he's kind of under under siege almost, and on like a remote scientific outpost called Sunreach, and it's all about kind of how they are trying to get to Sunreach, and whether they can go, whether they should go, how they get involved with the superiority. And the other thing that Sunreach, the two, I would say that almost feels like the C plot when you read Sunreach. The thing that I would say Sunreach is really about is slugs. You might as well call this book Slugreach. So in the previous book, Starsight, we find out that the slugs, the Tanix, are what is used to kind of do like hyperdrive stuff. So Tanix are cytonic, the slugs, and you can use the slugs to you can use a slug to get a cytonic effect. That's a great way of saying it. So you can use a slug to get a cytonic effect. I should have mentioned, by the way, that this is a very, very, very low to no spoiler review for Sunreach, but that is kind of a very guessable, but that is a plot point from Starsight that is treated as a reveal in the book, even though I did guess it in advance. But the slugs can be used to produce a cytonic ability in non-cytonics, or even in computers and machinery. And they spend a lot of the book finding slugs, training slugs, and experimenting on slugs in a humane way, by the way. And I liked a lot of that. I feel like it feels like the slug experimentation storyline would have been a B plot if the Skyward series had multiple antagonists. Protagonists. So if it was a multi-POV book series, similar to Sanderson's, Mistborn and Stormlight Archive, if it had been one of those multi-POV books, then it feels like the slug stuff would have been another POV in Cytonic. And I think that it kind of does a little bit of a disservice to Sunreach by having it all bunched together without much of a break. You kind of go like slug, 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 romance, slug, slug. And while it was written really, really well, and I liked all of the slug stuff, I think that it would have served better as almost like a fun side plot in a main book, and to have been broken up a little. I also thought that the romance between FM and Rig that is hinted at in book 1 went really, really well. And I think that maybe we could go. I think that that relationship feels really strong and like it's built very well, and it's not got. There was a bit too much of the nobody's talking to each other, we're all dummies. Story stuff like CW style plot points in the early part of that romantic relationship, where like FM thinks that Rig hates her, and Rig is just because of a misunderstanding is trying to leave her alone to not embarrass himself. That because you know that Rig likes her, you know that side of the story, it can be kind of annoying to be to have the main character completely oblivious to that. Is that realistic to real life? Maybe. Is it something that I want to read? Maybe not. I think that overall the relationship comes good, and the feelings, the way that it's written, and the way that the characters relate to each other are really good. And I really enjoyed seeing FM and Jorgen butt heads over the Tanix. She kind of forms this bond with the Tanix, and like FM is kind of like that. You know, I think everyone has like one of those friends who's like a good person. Like a really good person who does things like, you know, they're vegan, they're zero waste, they care for the environment, they buy secondhand clothes, they donate to charity. You know, people who go out of their way to do what is the best for the society around them and the people around them and those who need more than them. And FM feels like one of those people. And weirdly, I feel like you don't see those sorts of people represented very often in books. But she is kind of one of these people who's very much like self-sacrificing, and she's, you know, very strong in things like animal rights and human rights stuff. And I think that the animal rights stuff with the Tanix is really, really well done and well represented. And I think that it's kind of carried on as well into the next book, which works really well. So yeah. Should this book be called Sunreach? Yes. It's called Sunreach, but barely any of the book is about the Sunreach situation. It's all about slugs and romance. However, I really enjoyed the slug stuff in many ways. I do wish it was a bit more broken up, and I think it would, again, have been best served as another POV and a multi-POV book. But the Skyward series isn't a multi-POV series, so that's kind of like me telling Brandon Sanderson to change the entire way that he's written this series. Also, I believe that while this book has Brandon's name on the cover, he co-wrote them with Janci Patterson. They sound and read like Brandon, but I believe that, and I could be talking out my ass here, but I believe that Brandon kind of wrote the plot and Janci wrote the actual novella. In which case, number one, massive kudos to Janci for, I would say, being able to write the characters exactly as Brandon wrote them. And I think that, especially when it comes to Jorgen, FM, and Rig, who we get loads of in Sunreach, I think that she has really expanded on those characters in a way that Brandon doesn't really have time to in the main series because he focuses so heavily on Spencer. So a quick drink. And I think that she's done a great job. I have read Redawn, and like I said, I'll be doing my review shortly. However, Redawn also does the same thing. It really expands on characters that you don't see very well in the first two books, and it gives us a lot more world building and really interesting kind of exploration stuff in Redawn, and I can't wait to talk about that in the next video. But it's not the next video. I haven't decided yet whether the Redawn video will be out tomorrow, which will be Thursday. I'm recording this on Tuesday, but I haven't decided whether the Redawn I will release on Thursday, or I'll hold it for next week and kind of semi-officially start to move towards a 4 video a week schedule where I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I work the full day from the office on Wednesdays, which gives me no time during the day to record my video. for the following day, which is kind of how I like to do it. So Thursdays often are a day that I struggle to fill the video slot for. So it might be that I should probably just change the header, which says videos every weekday, to videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. But we'll see. What do you think I should do? You're watching this video. Pop a comment down below. I can, most of the time, about 50% of the time, I can get a Thursday video out. Should I be more explicit in my scheduling in the header photo? Put some more stuff in my about? I think I probably should do that anyway. And we will be lovely to hear what you, as a viewer, think would be more informative and interesting for future subscribers and viewers who find the channel. So thanks very much for watching. If you have read Sunreach, pop a comment in the comments down below and let me know what you thought. I realise that I have not told you how I rated it. I've given this a 3-star. I think it's very, very good. I think it is not as good as the first 2 novels, hence 3-star. Mostly I feel like both stories, A and B story, the romance and the slug story, could have been broken up a bit better. So that's kind of how I've reached that score. Thanks very much for watching. I've already said that. Like this video if you liked it. Drop a comment down below to tell me how to run my channel. Drop a comment down below to give me some constructive criticism if you didn't like this video. Share this video with a friend if they've read Sunreach, and you think that they'd like to see this video. And as always, I will see you next time.